Greetings, YouTube. A light unleashed back at you from right here at the Green Thumb Gardening Channel, right here in Grow Zone 8B in Tifton, Georgia. And in this evening's video, YouTube, I'm super excited to bring you guys along with me as I give you guys a first-time, up-close look at our two 4-year-old colocasia plants that we, for the first time this fall, YouTube, actually decided to dig up, transplant into 5-gallon buckets, and overwinter here in our 20-foot by 10-foot by 7-foot high tonal greenhouse. Again, our colocasia plants are approximately 4 years old. They were previously located down at our 1,100-gallon koi and goldfish pond in our backyard escapes garden area back there. Each year, our colocasia plants grow to a height of approximately 5 feet tall in our backyard garden escapes area down there, YouTube. They tend to flower profusely, YouTube, between the months of about April all the way until about July. They blossom and they blossom and they blossom. A lot of people never see blossoms on their colocasia plants, but ours blossom profusely here every year. At any rate, YouTube, before we decided to dig those two colocasia plants up and transplant them into 5-gallon buckets, we completely defoliated those plants, YouTube. That's right, we completely defoliated our two 5-foot tall colocasia plants, YouTube. I'm gonna hold one of these other plants I have up here in my greenhouse and give you guys an example of exactly what our two 5-foot colocasia plants look like prior to transplanting them into those two 5-gallon buckets, YouTube. Take a look at this. You guys see this? This is another smaller colocasia plant that we dug up from our yard here, and we're going to overwinter this in our greenhouse as well. But as you can see, it's completely defoliated. This is exactly what our two 5-foot colocasia plants that I'm about to show you guys look like when we transplanted those into those 5-gallon buckets over there and decided to overwinter those in our high tonal during the fall and winter months here, YouTube. This, YouTube, I'm going to pop a quick clip of a video up here, YouTube, is exactly what our two giant colocasia plants looked like earlier this year down at our 1,100-gallon koi and goldfish pond down in our backyard garden escapes area, YouTube. Take a look at this. And this, YouTube, approximately 60 days later, after transplanting our completely defoliated colocasia plants into 5-gallon buckets to be overwintered here in our 20-foot by 10-foot by 7-foot high tonal greenhouse. This, YouTube, this is indeed what our two parent colocasia plants are currently looking like just 60 days after being completely defoliated and transplanted into 5-gallon buckets, YouTube. Take a look at this. Bam! Can you guys see the tremendous amount of growth that our two colocasia plants have put on in approximately the past 60 days, YouTube? Again, YouTube, again. Our two giant colocasia plants look exactly like this. And when we planted them into those 5-gallon buckets over there, YouTube, as you can see, this is the point down to which we defoliated our plants, YouTube. That's the height they were when we planted them into these buckets over here, YouTube. As you can see, where that brown skin there starts, that's the point, that's the height at which our giant colocasia plants were when we planted them here in these two 5-gallon buckets approximately 60 days ago, YouTube. And not only that, YouTube, not only that, as you can see, one of them has a small plant already developing around its base, YouTube. But the main thing that we wanted to show you guys, YouTube, is this. Again, it's only been 2 months since we dug up these two giant colocasia plants, defoliated them down to this point, planted them in these two 5-gallon buckets here in our high tonal greenhouse, YouTube, and allowed them to begin to grow. This YouTube, this is unbelievable. I've never seen this happen so swiftly with the colocasia plant, especially after being defoliated and transplanted. YouTube, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Bam! Can you guys see that, YouTube? We have two, count them, YouTube, two blossoms currently forming on one of our newly planted giant colocasia plants here, YouTube. It's only been 60 days, YouTube. 60 days ago, this colocasia plant was right here, zero foliage. This one was right here, zero foliage, YouTube. And just take a look at the tremendous amount of growth that they both have taken on and put on here, YouTube. We estimate that by January, these two colocasia plants will be every bit of 5 foot tall, if not taller, here in our greenhouse, YouTube. And we do expect for them to blossom and blossom and blossom and continue to blossom here in our greenhouse until the first part of spring, when we actually take the liberty of replanting them down at our 1,100 gallon koi and goldfish pond in our backyard garden escapes area, YouTube. But yeah, yes indeed, yeah, YouTube. Just 60 days later, and our completely defoliated colocasia plants have not only put on a total of about 3 feet of growth, YouTube, in the last 60 days, but they are indeed coming into blossom. And we can't wait to show you guys those blossoms, YouTube. That's our favorite part of growing colocasias, is seeing those blossoms. It's a rare thing sometimes. Sometimes colocasias don't bloom at all. You really have to have the right growing conditions for colocasias to blossom. But yeah, YouTube, yes indeed, yeah. 60 days in, and our previously defoliated colocasia plants have put on 3 feet of growth and are indeed coming into blossom. Thanks for watching, and if indeed you currently are watching this video and you're not already subscribed to the Green Thumb Gardening channel, please indeed take this moment to press that subscribe button beneath this video, that like button, that notification button, and be sure, YouTube, be sure to share this video with your friends and family as well. Yeah, overwintering giant colocasias in our 20 foot by 10 foot by 7 foot high tonal greenhouse. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Go hard. Yeah. Go hard. Go harder. Go hard. Go harder. Go hard. Go harder. Go hard. Go harder. I met this OG on the block. He told me, go hard and make them feel me when I'm on the boulevard. When mothers get the nerve to test me, leave them scarred. No waste no money on making it rain. At the bar, he told me, once you get your boys heard, don't stop. Them labels hate, but they can't touch you. On the top, just sit back and lie and watch us all there. Have them fly and keep on catching checks each time your songs drop. He told me, everybody in your circle ain't your friend. Don't know the game and they don't wanna see you win. Like snakes off in the grass, they're solid, but listen in. Claim that they got your back, but put that turn you in. Don't tell the whole world about how you make your moves. Remember, lying, you ain't gotta think to prove. Don't ever auto-tune and keep it old school. If Popo gets behind you lying, play it cool. Go hard, go harder, 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 go hard, go harder. He told me every time you hit the mic, rip it up. Don't ever stop rapping till you get enough. Don't be no gangster that can get you locked up. And before you even take a stroking, wrap it up. He said, lying, don't you let this world bring you down. Some people gonna hate you cause your skin is brown. Don't walk through life with blind eyes. Look around.